Sandrine, welcome to Business Insider. Recent gold medal winner for the Tourism Awards for Newcastle and the Central Coast. Exciting times.
Very much so,
Yeah.
yes.
And relatively quick, I was mistaken, but how long have you been running Treetop Adventure Parks?
About 2.5 years.
Yeah.
The Central Coast Park opened, and about 18 months for the other one, 20 months.
Okay.
Newcastle Park.
And you spent, therefore, let me do the maths, about 10 years in Australia building the plan for this? Is that the...
Yes, it
Yeah.
took a long time to get the idea out, but it was all really worth it.
Okay, okay. And your husband is the quiet support here, is he? As
Yes.
we always are. I've found with Australian men, we're always quiet and
I
supportive.
I couldn't do it at all without him, because he's the one who actually builds the structures.
Right.
He's the one who design and think about, he's a very, very ingenious man. So he thinks about the best way to, because it does look simple when you see the activities and people enjoying them, but when you have to build them, there are, you know, little tricks that you need to know here and there, and Frederick is the one behind all of that.
Fantastic, fantastic. So in that, we often talk about people not doing enough planning, but you did a lot of planning.
Yes.
And then the execution of that has been going on for 2.5 years or so. Are there any moments in there, Sandrine, that you look back and say, wow, that was a really strange decision, or things that you learnt things from?
Yes, we did definitely learn, and we're still learning, and I hope we're going to learn forever.
Yes.
Because that's the really good part of the job as well. We've learned that never give up, always persist in what you chose to do. If you've, of course, you know, researched it and thought that it was something really adapted to the market. But yes, don't give up, because, you know, 3 or 4 people have said no, and always try to do your best and work hard, and eventually it will always pay off.
Well, thanks for coming in there. No, that was kind of a nice summary of, but it's the words just fall from your mouth, but they belie, I think, how persistent you needed to be. You know, you've got. Where did the biggest issues come from? Was it in the design? Was it in the councils? Was it in the market?
No, I think when you introduce a new product, there's always a bit of a scary part. Also, we rely on government land to set up our project, because we want to open this area. We want to help open this area to a wider public. So we decided to do our activities on government land. So that means state forest, national park, other type of park that are managed by governments. And it's always hard to make these government department, you know, accept new ideas.
I was going to say it's always hard to make them happy.
No, I mean, actually we had a lot of support. It's been also really, really good working with them. It's been hard sometimes, because they have to obey so many rules. But we found some people that really worked out of their way to support us, because they really believed it was such a great product. And although it was very new and really hard for them to make it accept by the, you know, management, they really worked hard to do that. And we found some people who work really, really hard in government bodies. And I know some people could be surprised, but yes, and people who are really motivated by their jobs.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, and they're motivated by passion in
yes.
driven
yes, I think so too, yeah.
clients as well. You opened first just here on the Central Coast in Yarramalong.
Yes.
2.5 years ago. Your second one is in Newcastle. I've just heard about number 3 and number 4.
Yes. That was the whole idea when we started, was not to only build one, but be able to have a few of them. because what we want is we want to bring as many people in the environment as possible. And to do that, you need to get them where they are. People will actually travel about 2 hours to go to our parks. On the Central Coast, we get a lot of people from Sydney, maybe 60% to 70% at times, that comes here just to experience the parks. But we want to be able to provide it at different places, because some people don't even know we are there. So we need to come closer to them. And what we want to offer is people from all walk of life, like all age, all areas.
What's the youngest?
3 years old.
3 years old.
Yes.
Okay.
So for 3 years old to 10 years old, we have a special system that we actually designed in Australia from what we saw overseas that keeps them safe at all times. It's a little bit similar in a concept to what they're using on the Sydney Harbour Bridge, except that it allows them to go on flying foxes as well. So
yeah, they don't like you jumping off the harbour bridge.
No. Not too much, although it would be fantastic. But
don't even go there, Sandra. Don't even go there. The strategy over the next 12 months obviously includes your next two, one in Sydney.
Yes.
Can we talk about that?
Yes.
Okay.
So toward the end of the year, we are opening a new park, and it's going to be what we're offering here, as well as a canopy tour, which will have longer flying fox and also a system that can take people who don't want to really work out. The adventure parks, as we have on the Central Coast and in Newcastle, you need to work your way up and across. So it's a little bit physical. We've got different levels. For all age, we have different levels. So for example, if you were to come at the park, you would start with green level, very easy. Everyone can do it.
I could start higher than, anyway.
And then you would, if you felt comfortable doing that level, you would then go to the next level, blue level, and it would be a bit more challenging, a bit higher, and a bit more out of your comfort zone. And extra red course, black course. And then we're trying for you to push your limits, and we're providing something for also people that are maybe a bit more fit, maybe a bit more adventurous, so they can all enjoy as much as they can.
Extraordinary. The staffing levels, do you have, is there skills levels your staff have to work on the courses, or?
Yes. Right. We have a very, we actually have improved a lot since we started. Our recruitment process, we obviously, because our activity is often more weekends and school holidays, although at the moment we have so many people come during midweek as well, which is fantastic to see because we open 7 days a week. But we have to have more staff and use casual staff, obviously, on those busy periods. So we often used people from school camps and things like that. And it's not always easy to have people trained the way we want. So we've designed, and that's one of the big challenges that we've had since we've started, and that we've almost tackled completely, is training the staff to a level that's acceptable to us. So we've designed a very, very thorough training program for our staff with different modules. And so we have staff at different levels. We have a variety of staff so that we can cover and make sure the parks are safe at all times. Okay. And we're also implementing some new recruitment techniques, so that, because staffing is one of the main difficulties, I would say, challenge for someone who runs a business like ours, to make sure that we can delegate as much as we can, because as we expand, and this is one of our big strategies, to expand and to diversify.
Diversify is fine.
As we do that, we need to be able to delegate as much as we can, to be able to concentrate on
because
opening
it's a
other
strange
parks
mixture of fitness and hospitality, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
So just the diversification, what do you see that looking like?
First of all, we want our park to keep always being new and keep attracting. So for example, this year at Central Coast, we built 3 new children courses and 1 new adult courses to make it a bit more challenging, and we're always trying to adapt to also the feedback that we get from our customers. But we also
what sort of damage do you do to the trees and stuff like that if you're changing this stuff around?
Not at all. We have, like, all our business is based on being eco-friendly. And if you go to the park, you can hardly see what's in the tree. We don't drill anything through the tree. We don't damage the tree, and we have them monitored throughout by an arboriculturist. So we only clamp our platform around the tree. We protect them also from the cable, so that, because if we were damaging the trees, we would then have to move around and kill the whole forest, and then there would be nothing left. But the trees are the real stars in our activities, in our parks. And what we want is people to enjoy the trees. And we also have designed some educational paths where we try to explain to people what the trees are, what they're used for, how to protect them. So we're trying to, it's a very important thing for us to try to educate people about the environment as well.
As you grow, you're about to move, well, in virtually 3 years, let's say 3.5 years, you will move from 0 to 4 parks. And there's you, and we've identified Frederick as a very shy but talented herbal engineer, a tree engineer,
yes,
who does this all without damaging trees. Who's putting together the structure? Are you building literally the corporate structure as you go?
Yes. Let's say that we built everything from scratch. And setting up the whole courses is done by a team that we hire as much locally as we can. Sometimes if we cannot find the resource here, we're going to go somewhere else, but we always try to hire people in the region that we are doing our work. Then the whole business is not only the courses themselves, but it's also how people book, for example. And we've just put in a very, very crazy booking an online
booking system,
so that to make things easier for people to book, but also so that we could free up the time of our staff that they spend on the phone putting in booking, to actually be there and have more time for customer service. So, we everything that we do, we're trying to improve the procedures that we're using in the park, and yeah, we're doing all of that.
Okay, I'm getting a clear picture of what you've got to do to be a gold winner at an individual tourism level now, and I'm exhausted just hearing it. If we talk about the biggest challenge, and with that diversification, that's another. How many parks in Australia can you have?
It's limited, because the catchments are mainly, around the coast. We don't really have, a set number of parks. We don't say, oh, I want 10 parks by 2015. No, what we want is provide parks where the need is. And one of our great success has been to get all these government bodies that I spoke about a bit earlier to actually get some sites on the market for activities like that. And so far we've participated in 3 or 4 expression of interest for parks like that. But just the fact that government are thinking, oh yes, it's a fantastic way to bring people into the forest and generate also some income from that through renting our land to companies like mine. That's been really a great achievement, because it's we've most of the parks that we've set up so far, we've been going and knocking on doors, getting this size would be really good for that. But now government are saying, okay, we've got that site. Are you interested? Who's interested? And that's a fantastic thing, because the people are changing their mind and people are thinking, oh, let's do that. And if there is money coming from those lands, then it can be reinvested in the parks and the lands and the forest, in doing some things for recreation, but also protecting, planting.
Truly sustainability.
Yes.
In every sense.
Exactly.
In every sense. That's a cool thing. I know this is something you've been looking forward to. This is the soapbox. Now you are familiar, aren't you? It could be what gets up your nose, or a rant session, or what drives you to distraction.
Yeah, at first I thought you were going to offer me a soapbox because I smelled.
No, of course not.
But no, I get it.
Okay, well, tell me what gets up your nose. What
Yes,
you want to rant
I mean,
about?
if I had, that chance, I would say respect. Like, I think nowadays people don't respect much the environment, but also other people. So what I would like to say is, like, how important it is for everyone, if you teach your children, if you do it yourself, but always respect the others, because I think it impacts on every moment of your life. When you drive your car, I don't know if you've driven in Europe, but people don't respect anything and anybody, and it's just scary, very scary. But also in your daily life, and I think that's why also my husband and I loved Australia so much when we first came, and that's why we wanted our children to live here, because Australian people still respect each other, and when you go anywhere, people look at you and they smile at you, and you're not nobody, you're still someone. But I think we've got to be very careful, because we're starting to lose it a little bit, so we need to be careful. We need to, and if I can say something, it's just teach your children to respect each other and also to respect the environment. I see so many children just dropping paper on the floor, and it's like, it just tears my heart, and I'm like, if everyone does that, the environment is ruined. And it's not only paper, but you know what horrible things they do to the environment. And I think if everyone taught their children, then the world would be a better place.
Wow, I've heard a few rants, soapbox addresses, but none as passionate as that. You have got obviously a love for the bush and the love for people, but that doesn't necessarily protect this intellectual property that you've created, this ability to create that doesn't damage and delivers sustainability and respect and growth for people. Is there anything you can put in place to protect that, or?
No, not really. We have protected our name, for example, because that's something that we can do, but we cannot protect the concept. It looks easy, but it's not that easy to set up, but it's possible. We did it.
Yes. But with
now,
significant planning.
for example, if someone was to do it with drilling through the trees, I'm kind of confident that people would see that it's not eco-friendly and would think, maybe I won't come again because it's not as sustainable as the other park, for example, if there is another one. I think competition is a good thing in many ways, because it makes us always want to improve and get up every morning and want to fight, and we do that even if we have no competition. But
Yes,
competition makes you really want to be at the top at all times. I think competition is welcome. I don't mind a little bit of competition as long as they build something sustainable, as long as they build something that is safe. Because if someone was to build another park and then cause accident, because safety is such a high priority on our task list, that would definitely impact on our business. So that's something that we need to make sure. So we participate in organizations such as ORIC, outdoor recreation syndicates. We also try to work on the standards, so that parks like us, who actually don't really fit in anything at the moment, are also on the list of people to check and make sure that they are safe, make sure that they built the way they should. So we try to invest some of our time and energy and money to make sure that this happens in Australia, and that all the parks that are built up in trees are built the same way, or at least to best practice.
Excellent. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.